Not a very good sign. We need someone really boring.
They got me.
But I do remember the call. I was in Brazil working on a piece, and time difference, I don't know, the fruit, I was on the film was not on the beach, but the hotel was on the beach, and I guess it was somebody was partying 24/7 down there. Anyway, I didn't get any sleep at all for about no, not me. No, I was trying to sleep, I couldn't. I could close the curtains, blackout curtains, nothing. Stopped eating guava, well, it didn't help. So I got a call. I had not slept for 2 weeks, and they said, well, you're going to be doing Kittredge in Mission Impossible. I said, no, I'm not. I can't even breathe, guys. I'm out. My agent said, you're going to put your pants on, and you're going to go play Kittredge. That's the way it's going to be. And yeah, so that's what I remember of this. And then it was fantastic working with Brian and Tom.
Brian De Palma is quite a legend, yeah?
Yes, very interesting.
Who is the bigger legend on set at that point in time, Brian De Palma or Tom Cruise?
For me, it was Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Darn good question. Tom obviously creates an environment where everyone's asked to bring their best and encouraged to do so by the way he does things and his go for it attitude. Brian, I found, was a very interesting character. I think partly because of Bonfire of the Vanities had come out just before that, and I think he was in need of something big and a hit, and so that pressure might have been on him as well. But I felt that there was something intense about him that was tricky. Okay, so here we go.
He's going to spill the tea.
So before, when I found out, when they made the erroneous decision to hire me as Kittredge, I went to Langley this time because with Clear and Present I had no time. I was basically
Clear and Present, another Paramount movie, a great Paramount movie.
Yes, my first one. It was fantastic, obviously, working with...
That audition you remember?
That one I remember very well. It was with Philip Noyce, who was about, I don't know, 7'5", big Australian guy. All right, let's go ahead, do it, let me see it. So I did it, I screamed as much as I could, and I got the part. So actually, he'd seen something I did at Telluride. Where were with Brian? I was with Brian and where was I'm going to talk? Go ahead. What?
No, it was working with Brian.
Yes. Yes, Tom wants everything. So I went to Langley. So
Langley, that's where we were.
Yes, Langley. To meet with the folks, because I'd done, Clear and Present, and it's a script, and it's like, okay, how does this stuff actually work, more or less? I know you can't tell me the intricacies, but give me a feel so that I can go in and kind of have a little more weight in this character. And they were great. They kept me there for a couple of... They didn't keep me there. Because I'm free to go anytime I wanted to. But they entertained me for a couple of days. So I gathered a bunch of information, looked at the script, and thought, oh, that's interesting. Maybe we could add this and add that. Thinking I was working on a play or something, I wasn't working on a $100 million action movie. So we got into rehearsals, and of course the information I thought I was going to bestow upon them started to come forth from my mouth. And Brian looked at me like, what the hell is he talking about? This is an action movie. I don't care how they do things like that. I don't care. I've been with the script for a couple of years. I'm not interested in your intricacies. Just that's the script. Let's make it work. So that was my first introduction with Brian De Palma. And then I didn't get the message, apparently, because I was young and really, really stupid, not like I am now. And so we were going to do the restaurant scene, which you all probably know, the red light, green light thing. And I had
red light, green light is the gun.
Yeah, with the aquarium.
The big aquarium, which is, again, there's really a couple of iconic moments in Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah.
The aquarium break, where Tom is literally just barely in front of them.
Yeah.
And then the wonderful CIA Langley break.
And the train sequence. There are actually, there are 3. Yes, that's a... But yeah, Pat. So yeah, that was the aquarium exploded, and I thought, well, I had all these questions about why he doesn't just arrest him right away because they're all CIA agents and all this sort of thing. And I sent him a fax at the time that we were doing faxes, speaking of phones. And the fax was several pages long. And this was on a Friday, and we were shooting, I think, on a Monday. And I was checking with the AD, did he get the fax? Yeah, he got the fax, yeah. Yeah, I think he got the fax, yeah, fine. So tonight, yeah, no, I think he's in the Video Village, but you know what? You want to just sit over there where the set is, and no, he got the fax. And the script person was on my ASS all day. If I missed a comma, I was educated on the fact that that comma is there for a reason. So that was an interesting thing. When I see the film, I see none of that, of course. But Brian was not pleased, I don't think, that I had all this information that I thought should be in this film. Yeah. So.
You got the last laugh.
Well, kind of, yeah. I mean, not right now I want to tell the joke and really get the last laugh, but I got some.
So, Rolf, what was it like for you filming that scene in Mission 1? Did you see Tom do that stunt? Were you...
He did that stunt as with most of his stunts, many times. And I don't know if I actually saw, over a couple of days. So I don't know if I actually saw the one that went down, but I saw him do it a lot.
He loves it. He loves doing stunts over and over again.
I know, when I took over the Mission franchise, I was like, well, yeah, he has a stunt double. I'm like, no, he has a stunt double, but the stunt double doesn't do any of the stunts. Okay.
No, the stunt double is there for when they're lighting the scene, or when they're setting up the background. That's where the stunt double is used.
Or when they're trying something new that they've done the research on and practiced on, and maybe there's a chance here, let's see what happens. But then once that's done, I mean, nobody's really going to
I'm not sure if we vetted that comment.
No, I was just no. No, yeah, a couple arms. No, I don't think any. They're profoundly safe, and these guys they're incredible in terms of what they imagine will happen and what they do to allow that to happen without injury. It takes years, so not at home, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, don't jump out of your own biplane at home.
Yeah.
Let's just jump forward, because I love going back and forth a bit. Let's just jump forward to the phone call and or fax or email that you might have received that says, in your case, we'd like you to come and be a part of the Dead Reckoning movies, and in your case, we want you to be part of the Final Reckoning. What was that like?
Well, I got a phone call from an agent saying there's a European film company that wants to ask you if you'll be involved with the picture, and I said, sure. They weren't saying too much about it, which is fairly normal. Would you be interested? And I said, oh, are they legit? And they said, yeah. So I said, yeah, go give me my information. And I had this bizarre call saying that a company called Skydance wanted to do a new Mission Impossible. Was I interested? So I thought, yeah, right. I thought a friend of mine winding me up. And so I said, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, that'd be great. So they said, the director wants to have a word with you. And I said, oh, I bet he does, yeah. So they sent me the link, the Zoom link, and it had McQuarrie's name. I thought, oh, Bill's good. That's great. This is going to be good. So I was sitting in front of the machine with a T-shirt on and a glass of wine, I believe. And McQuarrie's face came up and was like, what? Holy smokes. Okay. And he offered me the job, and I couldn't even joke. I couldn't even say, well, let me think about it. I just, yeah, please. And then we spent about an hour 50 minutes talking about what he saw as a possibility and what they wanted to do, and it sounded fantastic. Hung up, and told my partner, I said, you're never going to guess. So I got a big kiss.
I don't remember. No, I was shredding documents. My own tax stuff from years gone by.
Of course, years.
Way past 8 years. I know, it was on Centinela. They gave them the boxes, they're shredding away. I got a call from my rep, and they want to bring Kittredge back, and like Rolf, I thought, yeah, right, okay, what's the deal? No, really, and so, okay, wow, okay, that'd be really cool. As a matter of fact, I had did a film based on Dostoevsky's novella Notes from Underground back in '94. Small film, interesting, I thought, trying to do that. So, it was a great little film. And so in January of 2020, the director, who now lives in Cambridge, came down to the States, and we were chatting, and we went on a little camping trip because he was going to get married and he wanted to go to just someplace near Santa Barbara on this beach where he thought he could get. So he wanted to come with me, and I have nothing in common with him whatsoever, nothing. And I thought, I couldn't say no, so I said, yeah, sure, fine, okay, let's go, Gary. So we go on this camping trip on this beach, and he happens to have some psilocybin with him, a little bit. So
What's that?
it's therapeutic. And so we go for a walk, and at the end of the walk at dinner, we're just sitting around chatting. I thought, we should do Notes from Underground again, verbatim, but 25 years later. And he looks at me and thinks, so the next morning we talk about it, and we think, let's do it. So it's not that expensive. So anyway, that happened. The idea of it happened. And then, 2 weeks later, practically to the day 25 years earlier, I get a call from my rep saying they want to bring Kittredge back 25 years later. And I, of course, no, not really, but yes, okay, fine. And then, unlike your conversation with McCory, mine was very brief. He was in Venice. They were location scouting, so we're, okay, great. You want to bring him back? What's the deal? What's it? Well, I'd like to bring him back. Great. What are we doing? Yeah, that's the thing. You know what? We got some. I'm mulling some stuff over, and just wondering if you're interested. First of all, of course I'm interested. This is one of the greatest franchises in film history. It gets better every iteration. No, I'd rather be working on my shredding. So okay, fine. Yes, we're good. We're going. We're going to do this thing. And then I finally meet with him in London, and there. Well, actually, the whole thing of the pandemic happens, and there's all this but it's still going because Tom and Lee and Allegra are going to get this thing going, which is an extraordinary event to begin with. The idea that this thing is even up, and you want to do two simultaneously, of course, and that was supposed to take, 2 years? And
Snap.
Yeah, 7 years later. But they're up, and they're beautiful. So I'm going to see McCory, and he has really no idea. Well, he has an idea of what he wants to do with the guy, but he has no idea what he's been doing. So I came in with a backstory again. I didn't go to Langley, didn't bother with them this time. I wish I would have, because McCory's fantastic at receiving what artists bring to him, be they technicians, crew, actors, whatever. He has an amazing capacity to absorb and reflect and use whatever people bring, which I think is one of the reasons they are so good. So anyway, we talked about it, and I came up with a backstory, and it moved around a little bit because Angela was supposed to be in 7, and she was supposed to do the mission statement, and she was in something that went because of the pandemic, etc. So Kittredge's character morphed quite a bit during the shooting thereof, and I was thrilled with it because I felt creatively responsible and creatively dancing with these terrific artists. Yeah, so that's
Amazing.
how. Yeah, that's the long-winded part. Yeah.
True story.
Yeah, true story. Well, the way I saw it, anyway. Chris might have a different story.
I think that's true. We didn't think you were going to be an 8, and then all of a sudden it morphed like that.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
and I
loved
think
it.
you were really instrumental in that, so it's good.
Yeah.
But we did also do a huge sequence with you on the train in 7.
Yes.
And, production-wise, we were in Norway and shut down a train line for over 10 days. And
Yes. That's when I joined. The production was supposed to start in Italy, of course, but that was the epicenter of the pandemic, so that I can't imagine.
Yeah, we didn't film one day It was the first day of filming in Venice, and that's when they shut us down. And then we decided to go to Rome, and then they shut Rome down, and as everybody knows, it became a domino effect. So we didn't start shooting until September, and because of weather, we now started in Norway.
Yeah, as I look at two of you, I don't understand why you don't look like 600 years
We're
old.
exhausted.
Yeah, no kidding. That alone would put a lot of people out of the business completely, but you survived it, not only survived it, but are great champions of this franchise. So, truly. Yeah. What you guys have gone through the sleepless nights, I can only imagine. But just reading your resume, I'm already like, oh, get me out of here. So Norway, my first step on the set was in Norway, and we had, they put us up on these two terrific cruise ships, and it's like, oh my God, we're in a cruise ship. But of course you're in a cruise ship. We can contain people; they're not going to get sick outside. It's a small town. At least when I joined up, they were in a small town, and they moved the ships to this other Anglisness, I think it's called, or something like that. Beautiful, of course, fantastic. There's a hikers museum there where you can see all the limbs that didn't make it. And kidding. And I never went in actually. But the cruise ships were going for, come on, a dime a dozen. Who was going to take a cruise in the pandemic? So they had these great cruise ships that we would go to after. And I think Simon was there for 3 weeks.
Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg was there. Benji was there for 3 weeks. I think he saw the set once. He didn't shoot a single day, I don't think.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But as some of you know, some of you don't, shooting on a train, a moving train, is very, very complicated.
Oh yeah, no, this is no.
So I think we were ambitious in what we thought we could do.
Yes, and also the beauty about Macquarie and Tom is that when they see something that is interesting, okay, hold on, whoa a second, whoa, we want to get that. If we can, Lee, can we do that? Lee's like, oh, good. Oh.
We find our way to yes.
Yes.
We find our way.
Yeah, it's a circuitous route, but I'm sure. And so, yes, and it dawned on me when I stepped on the train that McHugh used smarty pants. Last time we saw Kittredge was where? On a train, it was, the country was beautiful, and the stuff that they were getting, you can't get anywhere else. This is why it's so international, why they're going all over the place. Well, you try and find the topography that you will see in this film anywhere else other than South Africa. I'm guessing they've looked around quite thoroughly. So my one day in Norway on the train, you walk out of the train to the helicopter takes off. Got it, no problem, I think. I don't know, I haven't done this character in a long time. By the way, every day, I don't know about you, but every first day is first day. Doesn't matter. You've done it for 6 years and you're off for a few months, you come back, first day is again, I don't know what's going to come out of me. I hope I've done my homework properly. So I gotta go away for 4 hours. And now they've got cranes, they've got everything. They've obviously tried to shot 6 different ways. Now it's a beautifully complicated shot. And so we do it. We get it in the light, we get it. You drive, the helicopter goes off down the tracks, and you're done for the day, wrap. And Henry, we brought your clothes now, so you are going to be in a helicopter with Tom. He's going to take you to the house where he and McHugh are staying, and you're going to join the rest of the cast. So it was my first day on set. I got a helicopter ride with Tom and McHugh to their house on the fjord. Welcome back. Whoa.
We named it.
Yeah.
Rolf, tell us about coming back to William Donlow and what it was like to step into those shoes again and just come back. Was it an intense experience?
Yeah, it was. I mean, as I said, McHugh gave me an idea of what he wanted to do with it, but as what happened with you, Henry, the character morphed. We had some ideas, we did some things, and there was a fundamental shift in the storyline. So we sort of 86'd a lot of it and went at it again. Donlow in 96 was very much my own creation. It was just a little bit that I started playing around with and having some fun with. This was very different. There's a very specific reason he's in the film, and it's 30 years later, and it's very easy to, the core of him is the same. But Yeah, it was, I've never done this before, to come back 25, 30 years later to the same character. I'd never heard of it.
It's extraordinary. It's an extraordinary experience.
Yeah, it was extreme.
What franchises lasted that long? Yes,
A.
we share that actually.
Yeah.
It is extraordinary for an actor to be able to do that. And if I may, pardon me.
No, go for it.
But what you'll see in this film, sorry, I'm going to embarrass you, is the experience this man has had on the ice between when he was told to go up to the radar and when you see him in this film. It's so rich.
No.
Seriously,
Yeah,
so rich.
well, that's great.
Oh,
Thank
yeah, and it
you.
just blew me away. And it's only about 2 seconds, but it's really rich.
Well, do you want to talk about where you filmed the ice scenes?
Oh, that was Svalbard. The most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. It's an archipelago, Norwegian property or protectorate, and it's 500 miles south of the North Pole. So we're so far north, we couldn't see the Northern Lights, which I'd never heard of, but that was that. We were there for 2 weeks, living on a ship. Not a liner, a cruise liner, but a real ship. They made room for us, and there were 2 ships. And we saw polar bears, reindeer, walrus. We were the only humans in that entire area. And it was like living in a National Geographic film. It was extraordinary, absolutely beautiful. The mean temperature was about 20 below. When we went for a blizzard, it got to be 50 below. And I've never been so cold in my life. That's the one time I've ever acted anywhere where I didn't really give a toss about the lines. It was I gotta get out of this. I had to be taken in much I had to take my glove off. And I started getting, it started freezing, my hands started freezing. And Palm had something like that as well. So they took us in for half an hour, but I would do it again in a second.
Still some of the most beautiful country in the world.
It is, yeah. Oh my God.
So we only took you to the nicest places then.
You see? Well, then there was Middleton Mines.
They're nicest.
No, then there was Middleton Mines, which is the worst place I've ever filmed.
I'm a little darker. I kind of liked it. I'm a bit of a hermit. Give me a mine any day.
It's the only scene in the
that
movie
way.
that you are both in together, right? Like
Yeah,
if you're
that's true.
looking,
Yeah.
we won't tell you what happens there, but you'll think about it now when you see
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah. No, we were supposed to film there for 2 weeks, and everybody hated it. And we were out in a week. They actually built a studio to make up stuff, but it's a real mine. I think it was sulfur.
No, it's limestone mines. So when you go to London, you see all the beautiful buildings, limestone. Most of them came from Derbyshire.
Derbyshire. Yeah, and it's oh God, to
23,
entire
30,
life.
something like 30 miles, I think.
Yeah,
Of
all the time. And we were very strictly kept to a certain area because if you go through the barriers they made, they're just rope barriers, you can get lost, and it could take a day and a half to find you. I don't believe it's working now, but it was until very recently, like the 90s, it was still a working mine. And it's awful. It's cold, it's dark, it's shit.
I liked it.
Yeah.
People like Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Czerny.
Mind you, I was treated with kid gloves, when you're on these things, like, oh my God. But it is, it was very dusty, no question, dusty and all that stuff. But at the same time, you have people near you. Are you okay? I actually did get lost, and nobody came looking.
Nobody came looking. Now, there's a shocking surprise.
I found myself. I crawled along the rocks. I'm still finding myself. Not pretty.
I wanted to ask you about if either of you had any chance to work with the masks in the movie, in either of the films, or in all 3 of the films. Henry, I know your character's around at least one of the masks, because I saw the last movie.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and so you mean did we get to
The rubber? The mask? Yeah.
feel the rubber and all that?
Yeah, did you ever, because you are at one point Tom Cruise in the story. You're Ethan Hunt in the story.
Yes, and that was fun.
What's
That
that
came
like?
up. There's another incident where when I look at you and I think about what you did in this film, it's and specifically when you just talked about how you guys worked on it, it's just beautiful. Okay, so don't get distracted with
I pay him
Rolf's work.
10%.
Do not get distracted with Rolf's work in this thing.
It will happen.
Yeah, so it just came up, like, how is he going to get out? And they really weren't quite sure. And then I think somebody, maybe it was Eric, the writer, Jenderson, or I don't know who's going to claim it, but they came up with the idea that he's got a mere mask in the thing. So, of course, I was totally chuffed. Are you kidding? I got to kind of even pretend to do that. And so it wasn't a mask. I didn't have a mask on. It was just a piece of latex that just finishing putting it up. And we spent a good half hour on how would Tom do it, and I think Tom was around there actually watching how Henry's going to pretend to be Tom, or at least Ethan. So that was so wonderfully cheeky.
It's the most wonderful bonkers thing about the Mission franchise is that we buy it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
And we buy that there's a little voice thing here that makes you sound just like Tom.
Yeah.
Or in your
Yeah.
case,
Oh, yeah.
just like Henry.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, nobody thinks how tall you are versus how tall he is.
Yeah. No. Yeah. At the time. No, we're actually pretty close to the same height. But Tom's super fit, and I was super fit up until 55, and then something happened, and my body said, I'm tired of this. So I said, okay, let's not do this for a while, and it stuck. So fortunately, though, in 7, I hadn't done the film I did, or at least the series I did in Montreal, where I was asked to really grow a beard and look disheveled and gain some weight, because there was no way I was going to look like Mr. Hunt in that. So when they put the suit on, Jill, the designer, was thrilled to notice it's going to work, we think. So I think they did a minor adjustment to the suit, but that all fit, but we're shocked. I mean, when they shoot, they're going to shoot everything. They're going to shoot you from head to toe and all that stuff. But, in the end, we just need this a little bit. So, but yeah, that was fun.
I want to pose this question to you both. I said we might go back and forth a little bit. And I want to remind you, these are the fantastic employees who touched the movie, who maybe have worked on it, who sold the movie, who have done all sorts of wonderful things around the movie. But the point I'm making is...
Thank you for what you guys did. It's amazing.
Indeed.
It was
it's
amazing.
a safe room. I'm going to ask you something they can't ask you on CBS television. There's no press in the room. So we've had phenomenal directors on the whole franchise, from Brian De Palma, John Woo, J.J. Abrams, Brad Bird, and of course, Chris. Who's a better director, Chris McQuarrie or Brian De Palma? Go.
And there goes his career.
And Henry, you were in South Africa for the biplane sequence.
Yes, for like 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't even get to adjust to the time zone. It was beautiful, though.
That's where this was shot.
Yes, right, yeah.
Yes, we went to this beautiful area of South Africa called Drakensberg, and you and Shay Wiggum had to arrive
Yes, we did.
in a helicopter.
Yes, we, that was pretty gorgeous. So we're going to shoot this in South Africa, and you wonder why, what's going on, and then, they get costumes, and we're wearing different costumes now. We're wearing khakis, and you'll see. So, all right, it's time to go to, where's my line? No script, it's just, okay, fine, because that's the way it goes. These guys kind of work as they go. They have ideas, but they don't want to nail anything down right away if they don't have to. So, okay, fine. So, look, turns out there is no dialogue. You are going to be doing X in a helicopter for a while. A day, it turns out. And you can't do that anywhere else, because once you're up in the helicopter, or up in the flying machine, whatever it might be, biplanes, helicopters, when you see the topography, it's breathtaking, because it's smooth and craggy simultaneously. And the river that you go along, it's just from the air, and as you'll see, it's breathtaking. And okay, fine, I understand why we're here. And also, if you shoot it up in the air, it's like what Howard Hughes did the airplane movies, and there were no clouds. Nobody could tell where they were, so we had to wait for clouds. And here you had clouds, and you had beautiful topography, so you have all that going on. That aside, time to go to set. We're taken to set in helicopters, that's a treat right away, because I don't get to do that very often. And then when you get there, you're going to be in a Black Hawk helicopter. for a while. And these things are precious and hard to get, as you know. Cha-ching, cha-ching. But so Shay and I were in this helicopter all day, and the movie, you see it's like, okay, well, but anyway, so we had to look for Ethan.
We won't give any more plot points for this scene, just FYI.
So, okay, thank you. Because he's in a bathing suit and he's with all these crocodiles, and it's
no more plot
amazing. He
points.
wrestles crocodiles by the dozens. It's incredible. And at one point he gets eaten but spit out, right? Doesn't he?
I'm not supposed to talk about
Well, oh, sorry. Okay, it was good. And then you were talking about doing Jaws or something. Was that a different franchise? Anyway, so we're leaving out all day, and that night was beautiful. It was Thanksgiving, and that was one of the we gotta be Thanksgiving for South Africa. Okay, fine. We gotta be South Africa for Thanksgiving. It was the best Thanksgiving meal I ever had. Tom, Tom and McHugh again are very generous and very conscientious to the people that are not home. And that night, and it was this beautiful resort that we were at. And they put us up in this beautiful this beautiful hut with this fantastic kitchen. Shane and I walk in, it's like, oh my God, this place is so cool. Imagine having your friends here. And so it's like, we finally go to sleep. At about 2 o'clock in the morning, I hear in the other bedroom, one of them, Shay going, oh man, oh man, oh. And I'm thinking, food poisoning, something, what's going on? And he's like, oh dude, I don't know, man, I don't know. Really, he's just something aside. So he's in such pain that the poor guy thinks it's over. He thinks that's probably my pancreas. I don't know. And I don't want to joke about that because I have people who are dealing with that right now. But he was in a very, very bad way. And we're in a place where we pick up nothing. There's no phone. There's like silence. And this is all night. So finally, I'm out in my underwear at this point. Like once the sun comes up, I'm out wandering. I don't know where I am. I'm wandering around in my underwear. Don't imagine that. It's not pretty. And so I'm looking around. Finally, I see this gardener, like, I don't know, a quarter mile. Oh, look at some guy comes in. The guy's really sorry. I don't know what we got. So anyway, we get Tom's physical therapist come. He has a look around. And he said, I don't know. They do some work on Shay, who's like, he's a tough customer, man. Something's going on. So, okay, so there's like, we get a day because it's raining. And then the next day we go back in the helicopter and Shay goes, oh! And he realizes, oh my God, it was this steel rail that I was on all day. It had nothing to do with my innards. I was bruised. Because we're in the scene. You want to lean over a little further? Sure.
So he's okay.
He's totally okay. It was a great story, clearly. I was fine throughout.
Well, I can't wait for
I went out my underwear for him.
I can't wait for this group to see the movie. You may think about these stories after you see the movie because you're going to be so in that scene that you're not going to break it, but you'll know. Believe it or not, we're at time.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you to both of you for coming and, gracing our stage with your presence, and just it's very special to have you here.
I have a few more stories, though.
The truth is, we couldn't have picked two people we'd rather have here in Los Angeles to do with the group. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the work that you guys did on this picture. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. I think there's food outside and a movie you're going to see soon. Enjoy.